Hey, what's up guys? My name is the Cherno and welcome to episode 93 of Game Programming. So we're going to talk about a bit of a, I guess, more advanced method to do AI. But of course, the thing is, you can't really measure AI and being like, okay, this is the advanced way to do it. No, that's not how it works because basically the way you implement AI in your game depends on actually what you want to make the behavior of your non-player characters be, right? If you want them to just stand around do nothing, this is absolutely fine. You can see that we've got quite a lot of mobs here. They're just like going around, minding their own business, walking around, doing nothing, standing around, occasionally. They're just chilling, and this is absolutely fine. That's probably too many of them, and they are kind of annoying. But for the purposes of this, let's come over here in a minute. I'm thinking, it doesn't matter. I was thinking that I might I want something to differentiate the guys by, but that's all right. As in because I might create different AIs, but we'll see. Where is our spawn level? Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is let's maybe take this down to about 10 instead of 100 because 100 is too many. In fact, 10 is probably too many. Let's take it down to 5. So we'll spawn 5 dummy bros. 5 dummy bros. Okay, that's pretty good, right? Okay, so what we want to do now is we're actually going to make a new type of AI, okay? Now that we've covered dummy, let's make another one, and we'll call this one, we'll make it, I wasn't actually planning to do it in a different mob class, but I just thought we might as well. Let us call it, I'm thinking of a name that would actually describe its behavior. Essentially, it's going to chase the player, I guess, follow the player, but it's pretty stupid at doing that. So, we'll just call it chaser, because chaser just implies that it's dumb. I don't know why. Because it's not a pathfinding thing. It's just it just kind of chases you. Now this method of AI is probably the most simple, but it's also really effective for the amount of code it takes to type. So again, we'll make sure that the constructor of this chaser mob has an int x and y because those are indeed the spawn locations. So we'll do the same thing we did there, which is basically just make sure we convert it from pixel precision into tile precision, so that, or rather the other way around, tile precision to pixel precision, so that you can place it accordingly. And then in the render, we'll just render, of course, screen.render mob xp yp sprite and flip. So what we need to do, and flip should be 0. What we should do in x and that should be that and that. Okay, whoops. Okay. So if we go into our dummy here, we've got all this code. Let's just copy and paste that. I know. A lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, that's a very bad way of doing it, Joe. No, I don't care. We might, some of this is different for mobs. I could make obviously I could make a superclass, but I don't think I'm going to bother. So if we come in here to our, where are we? Dummy. So dummy and chaser are our two AI characters, I guess. Make sure we set sprite equal to animated sprite.get sprite just before we render. That'll make sure that it does get the most updated version every time. And let's also make sure that we create these ones. So for now, they'll basically be the same as dummy, right? They'll look the same as dummy right now. That's all right. Okay, so XA and YA are bad. Let's make sure that we go private int XA equals 0. Private int y equals 0. Okay. Is our error solved? Yes, it is. So this is just the direction stuff. Okay, that's why this exists. This currently has no AI. So in other words, if I come over here into our spawn level and I get rid of new dummy and I add new chaser at 2055, make sure we import that class, obviously. Now run this. We're going to have a bunch of guys, and as you can see, they have no behavior. They just say they're doing nothing. Now, I'm going to show you guys a quick trick, okay? This is very useful for development. Oh, look at that. We've got a bunch of errors here. I know why that is, by the way. That's because I hit the Windows key there to search for stuff, and we actually haven't handled the Windows key in terms of because we're only like counting like the first 200 keys, and the Windows key happens to be like 524. But anyway, that's alright. We'll do that later. That was irrelevant. If I open paint.net here quickly, and I actually go to my recent and I pull up King Cherno here, you can see that well, whoa, don't want to run King Cherno there. If we actually just click on his purple robe here, we can actually get the hexadecimal color for that, which is 472 BBF, as you can see. So if we grab that and we go into Chaser here, we of course see that we render a mob. Okay, and this is this kind of the way that it works. So what we can do in render mob, obviously the problem I guess with render mob is that render mob has no idea what's being rendered. Okay, which is why it's kind of, I'm not a big fan of render mob right now. Okay, what it does is it takes an int x, an int y, it takes an x position, a y position, a sprite, and well, whether it's flipped or not, that's probably dumb, but that doesn't matter. The point is, it has no idea what it's rendering. This is as far as I can see. This sprite method simply all this is doing right now is just rendering a sprite. Okay, not really a mob, because we could call this method to render anything. So I'm gonna copy and paste this and make yet another render method that's actually called render mob, and this will actually take different parameters. It will it'll have mob here. It won't have a flip because that's stupid, I guess. But that's what it'll have. And if we go over here, we'll get rid of this flip code because we don't need it. And instead of sprite.pixels here, I'm just going to hit up mob dot get sprite, which it doesn't have yet, dot pixels. Okay, so if we go to entity, I don't think entities are, okay, they are forced to have sprites. So what we'll make an entity is a public sprite get sprite, and that will simply, that will simply return sprite. All right, pretty simple. And if we go back into here, mob.getSprite.pixels, okay? Just like that. And that'll do the same thing. So if we go into Chase, let's double check that this does work. Let's get rid of, let's put this in here, since this is indeed a type of mob. And if we run this, let's see if they actually do render. And they don't, they crash with a null pointer exception. So looks like getSprite is probably null. Which is quite weird, actually. I guess, okay, let's, because we do set the sprite, don't we? Oh, we've got to set the sprite. So let's make sure that sprite is equal to, I guess we could set it equal to animSprite.getSprite. That exists, maybe not. Maybe that hasn't been created yet. Let's just set it to, sprite.dummy, okay? Let's hit that up. Okay, so we still get a null pointer exception. Huh. I wonder what's null. Are we rendering this anywhere else? I don't think so. That's 0, that's 28. Why is that 28? Huh. I might have forgotten something. Let me just quickly check. Alright, so let's just actually check what's null. I don't think it wants to show us. Oh, I think I might know why. I think because it's getting up to 28 before it hits null. Let's just see if what mob.getSprite is, and that'll help us. Okay, so the sprite is null right now, which not sure why. Sprite is null by default, obviously, but it should get set. Let's just cut this out of here and put it into mob here. And make sure, I think the only other explanation would be that, mob has its own sprite. Okay, that's why. I'm not sure why this is here. Let's get rid of that. That's what's creating the issue here. And let's push this back into entity. So make sure that, obviously the sprite you're referring to is the correct sprite. So over here, sprite, it's not visible. So let's go back to entity and make sure that this is protected. I should have seen the private sign there and been like, oh, something's wrong. But, long day. Okay, so now if we run this, let's go back into screen quickly and get rid of this line that, okay, we already did. Let's run this and see what we get. Okay, so this works, as you can see. So that's good. Now what we want to do is if we go into here, and you chase a mob here, what we can do now that we've done this is if we go back into render mob, because we know that this is a chaser, right? This is probably a bad way of doing this, maybe. I'm not sure. There's a lot of ways you could do this. But the point is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say over here that if color is equal to that color that we looked at, which is right over here, 472, so the color of his cape, we can actually, and make sure you put an FF at the front, because of course, when we read files, it does also read the alpha channel, which is, I think, the 17th to the 24th bit in the actual number. Okay, so oh, if color does equal that, we can actually set it to something else. So let's make his robe, I guess, dark red here. So let's pump up some more red. Maybe this way, and we'll drop this a bit. That's a nice color. All right. So in other words, what we're saying here is that if the color of the robe is this, but oh, hang on. One thing we have to do is say that if mob is an instance of chaser, so that it only does it for the chaser, and color is that, we'll actually change the color. So make sure you have some brackets around here. Okay, and make sure you import chaser. All right. So what that's going to do is it's going to say that, hey, if the mob that we're rendering is a chaser, right? Check for which color equals this color, which is the purple, and change it to another color, right? So what it's going to do is it's going to say that, again, if this is a chaser mob and the color equals purple, let's change the color to red. So if we run this, what you'll see is that, oh, look at that. We've got a red version of the sprite. And the reason I did this was because once we start, this is just a quick way to basically differentiate between the sprites. Okay, because if we come over here and add a new, let's just say, new dummy. You know, if they were exactly the same, we wouldn't be able to tell which. We could just put this here. We wouldn't be able to tell which is which. But now that we've got, you know, as you can see, we can obviously see that the red ones are chasers and those ones are just dummies. Okay. And we can clearly see that because the color differentiates them, okay? So that is, that's gonna wrap up this episode of Game Programming. Next time, we'll actually take a look at the AI for these chasers. I just really wanted to clear this differentiation out, as well as making that new render mob method. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Game Programming. If you did, please hit the like button. 200 likes, 1 video per day. 300 likes, 2 videos per day. I'm sure you guys are used to that. But I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.